Do you think Microsoft will ever buy Nintendo? No. Never. Why? I mean, no. Maybe they will try, but no. Didn't they try to buy Square Enix and failed? Anyway, what game will be the next game for Worst JRPG Series? I can't wait. I think it's about time I streamed Tracia on the Sega Genesis. It's one of the most popular worst JRPGs on this channel. But I don't know, man, I haven't decided. You're gonna have to wait till next month. Tales of Arise was too chatty. The characters just kept talking over each other constantly in battle. Yeah. A lot of modern RPGs are like that. They never shut the fuck up. I don't understand why that became a thing. I seriously do not understand why that became a thing. I am not gonna read your fucking dialogue. I'm fighting! Especially in an action RPG. In a turn-based RPG, okay. I can just wait, sit down and wait until you're finished talking so I can decide what to do next in my turn. Strategy RPG is the same. But in an action RPG, I am not gonna read your fucking dialogue, man. I'm fighting, I'm playing, I'm getting my ass kicked. And you want me to pay attention to your dialogue? Thanks for bringing that up, man. I fucking hate that. That's become one of my biggest pet peeves with modern video games. It's not just action RPGs. It's modern video games in general. People, I mean, shut the fuck up and let me play the game. There's a time for scenes and for talking, and there's a time for gaming, you know? And when I'm in the middle of a fight, I don't want to have to read your fucking dialogue. However, sometimes that dialogue is in English, and if we understand English or Spanish, you know, okay, we don't have to read. We can concentrate while listening to whatever the fuck they're saying. But you know what? We're still not paying attention to what they're saying because we're fighting, right? Thank you for bringing that up, man. That was a rant. I fucking hate that passionately. I'm currently playing Cry Machina. Same fucking thing. I'm in the middle of a fight and they're fucking talking. Yeah, man, I hate that. Games need to do less talking and more gameplay. Well, like I said, you know, there's a time for talking and there's a time for gaming, right? Right? I'm a very story-driven guy. I don't mind when there's a lot of dialogue. You know, I can handle that. I like that, but not during an action real-time battle. Stay that away. You know what also, well, okay, this is not a pet peeve yet. It might become in the future if they keep doing this. I remember GameSack bitching about this. This is one of Joe's biggest pet peeves, I know that for a fact. But the radio operator type of character. I remember the first game I played like that was Persona 3. And I love Mitsuru. And she was narrating the whole thing, you know. She was being my operator and then Fuka took over. And I thought it was a good idea, you know, back then. But I think it's become so overused, especially in first-person shooters. I can't talk about those because I don't play them, but I've seen a lot of first-person shooters with a radio body, a radio operator, someone talking the entire... Nier Automata, for example, was the same. I was like, shut the fuck up, man. But right now, I don't hate that yet. But in action games, it's kind of the same. In Persona 3, I didn't mind. I was speaking about Persona 3. My playlist is clearly paying attention to what I'm saying. So in Persona 3, I don't mind because of what I said before, right? It's a turn-based RPG. I don't mind if they talk because I'm not in a rush to do anything. I'm not pressured. I'm not under the pressure of deciding what to do. And in an action game, any type of action game, real-time combat, you know, it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna read whatever you're saying. Radio operator, shut the fuck up and let me fight. Is Cry Machina a continuation of Crystar? No, it's a standalone game. Nothing to do with Crystar. Do you think we will ever get a Vagrant Story remake? I don't think so, but it could be. I mean, it's a Square Enix game, right? It's a Squaresoft game. They have the rights. But there's also the Matsuno situation. He quit Squaresoft. I don't know, man. Maybe one day, if you were allowed to bring back only one dead JRPG series, which one would you pick? Growlancer. I was gonna say Suikoden, but Suikoden is being revived in the form of Eiyuden Chronicle next year, so maybe it doesn't have to. Growlancer. Another scene is having a lot of intrusive tutorials. Yes. Oh man, don't get me started on those. You're in the middle of a fight, a fucking screen appears telling you to use a skill, press the triangle button. As if I can't figure that out for myself, jackass. Thank you. What? Why do you do that, man? I think it's time to do another pet peeves in modern JRPGs. Fuck yeah. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will relate to this video. Let me write it down so I don't forget. Thanks for those questions, guys. You have turned your questions into an upcoming video. So there we go. Pet peeves. Pet peeves on modern JRPGs. I figured the title later. But I want to talk about that. I want to talk about dialogue in the middle of an action battle, or radio bodies, or tutorials appearing in your fucking face and interrupting any combat. Even in turn-based RPGs, even in triangle RPGs. They're like, move your character to the left and perform an action. So you go there, perform an action. The moment you perform the action, another fucking tutorial, another message pops up. Fuck, man. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to capture all the footage. But I will. But yeah, the worst tutorials are the obvious ones. And this is something that's been there since, this is something modern. It's more present in modern games, that's for sure, but it's been there. Fire Emblem, the Blazing Sword on the Game Boy Advance literally treats you like a fucking idiot with a tutorial. It's one of the worst tutorials I've seen. I love that game, it's a masterpiece, one of my favorite Fire Emblem games, whatever. But the tutorial is fucking garbage. It's bullshit, man. I can't believe they treat you like this. As if you can't figure out something so stupidly. Even a 5-year-old kid could figure that out. I don't need you to tell me how to move my character or how to attack. Press X to press X. Exactly. Yeah, but that's another topic of its own. Less talking, more killing. I like my talking in JRPGs. I like a good story-driven game. As long as they shut the fuck up when I'm fighting. To move around. Use the joystick to move around. Because I thought you used the square button to move around. Or the triggers. Hey, some Metal Max Hero Reborn, you move with the triggers, the tank. Yeah, there are games, but yeah, 999,000 out of 1 million games, you move with the fucking joystick. We know that. I don't need a tutorial on how to move my character. Sorry, guys, my microphone is. Some of you were probably like, "Oh, Erick, stop screaming." Does Nayuta have anything to do with Towa, since they have the same last name in Legend of Nayuta? I think they made that on purpose. When they made Nayuta, they made that connection on purpose, I think. I don't think Nayuta has anything to do, but if Nayuta is supposed to take place like long before the Trail series or long after the Trail series, then maybe the characters are related somehow. Yeah, but not really. I think they made it on purpose to make people like you and me figure that out. Like, is this a sequel to the Trails? Oh, is this a prequel? Yeah, I think they trolled us. Can you suggest me one like Skies of Arcadia, please? Rogue Galaxy. It's an action RPG though, but Rogue Galaxy is also about pirates, about flying around in your ship. You know, you don't do that much, but you got a ship, and there's a spaceship, you visit planets and shit. Yeah. If you want to play pirate simulators, you can play Uncharted Waters 2 on the SNES. It's also on the Sega Genesis. Old school RPG, man, but you are a pirate. And you go around and you do what pirates do. Chrono Cross? Well, Serge has a bandana. He kind of looks like a pirate already, right? Nothing to do with pirate. Well, there's a pirate in there. There's Fargo. There is some pirate stuff in Chrono Cross, and maybe, yeah. Do you hate in modern JRPGs when you easily kick a boss's ass, but the second after the fight is over, you automatically lose to the same boss? It's happened to me multiple times, yeah. Well, what happens to me is that sometimes I go against a boss and I beat the shit out of it, and the next boss beats the shit out of me. like this. But yeah. Star Ocean 6, I remember something like that. I kind of remember there was a boss in Star Ocean 6 that you fight it and you beat it easily, and then the second time it beats you right from the start. And then there's Persona Q2, the first major boss. You fight him once and you're like a walk in the park, and then the second time you don't stand a chance. Do you have any interest in Beyond Good and Evil 2? Not really. I don't really care for the first one. So no. Are most of your book ideas standalone novels? Yes. Or have you ever thought to create a multi-part series like Trails? I've thought about it, but I'm not really that interested. I think the only way to make a series successful is to be a successful author to start with. And I'm not. So I have trouble making people buy my first books. I don't think I'm gonna be very successful convincing them to buy a sequel or the rest of the books in the same series. So yeah, every single one of my books, every single one of them is a standalone book story, nothing to do with each other. Are there any American RPGs you enjoy? Yeah, sure, you know, I've played some of them, but not really most of the ones that I enjoy. Most of the Western RPGs I enjoy are either European or Canadian, not American, but I know a lot of indie games. One of my favorite indie RPG of all time is American, that's Cosmic Star Heroine. So there you go, that's an American RPG. Anyway, as a writer, are you interested in making your own dark visual novel? I did it! I already did that, but nobody can watch it because I never protected my story. I did a visual novel. It's called the Sephira Project in this channel, but nobody can watch it. It's private. It has a shit ton of copyright claims because I used a lot of music from bands like Nine Inch Nails, Fear Factory, Deftones, The Cure, you know. I remember I even got a copyright claim from Woods of Desolation. Shit. Yeah. But yeah, I already did a visual novel in 2011. Didn't go very well. But maybe I don't know if I don't know if I would like to do another one in the future. Maybe. As long as every episode it's like 10 or 15 minutes long, because people's attention span nowadays fucking sucks. But I'm not really into visual novels, so I'd rather stick to books. And it will be a pain to get an artist. I can't draw. You know, I have to hire an artist to do all the artwork and shit, and a programmer to do all the dialogue boxes and stuff like that. I don't know. If I'm gonna hire or work with someone else for a video game, it will have to be an RPG, not a visual novel. I'm not into MMORPGs. What is your favorite movie or TV show based on a video game? You know what? I know this is gonna be a shocker, but I really liked the Silent Hill movie that came out about 20 years ago with Radha Mitchell as the main character. It was like a combination between Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3, especially 3. And it's its own thing. They kind of wanted to make it a love letter to the series, not to just one game in particular. But I really liked the movie because they got it right. The violence, the mature rating, the pyramid head is there, the horror. I mean, it's fucking horrible. It's a horrible movie in a good sense, you know, horrible. I mean, I like it. I like the movie. I know it wasn't very well received, but I like it. Unlike Resident Evil, which was like, my god. The Resident Evil movies, man, with Mila Jovovich, oh my god. Those are bad, in my opinion. If you guys are a fan of that, clearly you didn't play the original Resident Evil games. Yeah. But yeah, 9 out of 10 movies based on video games suck balls, man. But the Silent Hill movie is one of the better ones, I think. Anime series based on JRPGs, though, you know, that's another thing. I haven't watched many. I know there's one based on Wild Arms. Somebody said about Arc the Lad, based on Arc the Lad. I know that. I haven't seen it. I watched a Persona anime, but I watched the Persona 4 animation. It was like, oh, this is the same as in the game, so I'd rather just play the game. The Nier Automata anime was also pretty good, you know, but I watched only 2 episodes, and I was like, this is just the same as in the game. I'd rather play the game. But there's one about the Trail series, but I couldn't watch it because it's exclusive on Crunchyroll, I think, and I have to pay, and I don't like it. I don't like Crunchyroll. I hate the fucking interface. And I only watched like 2 episodes, and it was alright. But the one about Persona, which is its own story, not based on any of the games, just based on the series itself, you know, that was pretty good. I forget the name, though. The Trails one is famously bad? Oh my god! Legend of Heroes anime sucks? I remember even some of you guys in this Q&A saying it was a blast and it was awesome, but because it was only like 2 episodes. So now that it's over, people are saying that it's bad? Wow, I didn't know that. I'm not gonna bother with it anyway. You see, we were just talking about Persona 4 and my playlist started playing the Persona 4 song. Playlists are spying on people. Thoughts? Persona Trinity Soul. Thanks, Kiss. That's the one. That's really good. Mikey Newport. Thanks, man. He asks thoughts on my favorite game, Final Fantasy VI. I love it, man. I think it's my favorite Super Nintendo RPG. Although Super Mario RPG is up there too. I love the fucking game, it's a masterpiece. My favorite character is Celeste, and I love her arc and her tragedy and all of that, you know, I love the fucking game. What can I say, it's also one of my favorite RPGs. Not of all time, not top 10, but on the Super Nintendo is my favorite RPG. Amazing story, amazing cast of characters, amazing development, amazing music. The gameplay aged pretty well. Sure, the random encounters did absolutely not age well. I hate random encounters, but I love the fucking game. What can I say? Does Lost Odyssey have an anime? I don't think so. Danganronpa anime is good, but I would rather play the game. Danganronpa, the anime was pretty good, but the ending was kind of like, seriously? That character was the bad guy after all? It ruined the anime, man. But the games are good, especially Ultra Despair Girls, I fucking love it. Thanks for the insights, played it on the App Store. Oh, you played it on your phone? We don't talk about mobile gaming here, man. What do you think is the best Persona? Persona 3 is my favorite. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, because of the party members situation, but I think it's a masterpiece. And without that masterpiece, Persona 4 and 5 wouldn't exist. Do you have to play the Persona games in order? No. No, Cyclone Cat. every single one of them is standalone. You can start with any. Except Persona 2. There's 2 games called Persona 2 and they're deeply connected. You want to start with Innocent Sin. Okay? But the other games, 3, 4, and 5, they're standalone. You can jump into any. Even Ni no Kuni has an anime. I'd rather watch the anime than play the game. I didn't like the game. But I kinda like Studio Ghibli, so maybe I'll like the anime. Have you ever watched the original Ys anime? No. It's not horrible, but the voice acting is definitely at times. If I ever watch that anime, I'm gonna watch it in Japanese, not in English. Are you a fan of Devilman Crybaby? Yes, I am. That is one of the most fucked up anime series I've seen. Very incorrect. Of course I'm a fan, Kiss. Nice book, by the way. This? Yeah. Will you ever consider trying the old school SMT games by any chance? Guess what? I already did that with the first one. And I hated it. It's severely outdated. It's not fun to play anymore for me. At least not for me. I couldn't stand it, man. I hated the first Shin Megami Tensei game. But if I had I played it back in the day, in the NES, Super Nintendo era, you know, I probably would have enjoyed it, but not today. Thoughts on the Pokemon series? Not a fan. I don't like Pokemon. I played Persona 3 with a mod that lets you control your party on PS4. Wow. How the hell did you play it on PS4? People can mod things for PS4. I mean, I know they can for PC, of course. I own the Danganronpa games on the PS Vita. 2 of them. 3 of them. I have all 3. I've never been able to get into the games. Only Ultra Despair Girls because it's an action game. For a third-person shooter with hack and slash combined. I fucking loved it. But the visual novel ones, I don't know. Maybe one day.